a lot of people want New York to be safe. They want their streets to be safe. And that's very understandable. Who doesn't want to be in a safe place? Who doesn't want to live in a safe environment? And they're wondering if this is going to affect the next mayor of New York and how they handle certain situations when it comes to law and order. So let's continue. Let's tune into the video, see what's going on out here in these streets.
Meanwhile, this gun insanity comes in the middle of a fierce race for mayor of New York. Mayor Adams was at the scene right after the shooting in a bullet-resistant vest. Zorain Mamdani today meeting with the family of murdered New York police officer Islam. This as Andrew Cuomo attacked Mamdani about past comments over cutting funds to the NYPD. Now, the political battle obviously continues. Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einiger covering that angle for us. He's in the newsroom. Josh?
Bill, Mamdani's opponents, particularly Mayor Adams and former Governor Andrew Cuomo, have long pointed to Mamdani's past statements as proof his mayoralty would damage public safety. And with funerals now underway for the victims of Monday's massacre, the politics of policing is now front and center. It was only a matter of time before the Midtown mass murder would become issue number one in a contentious race for mayor just months away.
How do they feel about Mayor Adams? I've heard some good things and I've heard a lot of bad things.
Law enforcement for their response to the horrific shooting on Monday and their work in keeping New Yorkers safe.
And today, presumptive frontrunner Zoran Mamdani returned from a vacation in Uganda and visited the family of slain officer Diderul Islam as Mamdani's opponents pounced on his previous statements critical of the NYPD.
When you start dismantling the pieces of the law enforcement apparatus that are specifically designed to carry out functions, that is extremely dangerous. And a lack of knowledge and understanding of these roles really could harm law enforcement.
The Assemblyman.
I agree with what Mayor Adams is saying, and I actually like some of what he does when it comes to law and order in New York. I think he has done a decent job. Obviously, he can't stop everything, but for the most part, they have ramped up their police force, and they put money into the police. And again, police, that are out there actually doing their job the right way, they're doing it, and they're not being corrupt. We appreciate those type of police officers, but obviously we have some corrupt ones still that we have to fish out and get right. But for the most part, they're doing a pretty decent job, even though crime is still crime. There's always going to be crime in New York. There's just too many people, but the solution is not to get rid of the police, for sure.
Both of the dismantling of the strategic response group, that is the group that responds to terrorist attacks. That is the group that responded to the shooting on Monday. So he just doesn't understand government, and he doesn't understand public safety. And he is dangerous in that regard.
My statements in 2020 were ones made amidst a frustration that many New Yorkers held at the murder of George Floyd.
Mamdani concedes he did take positions disparaging the police in the tense summer of 2020 before he was an elected official. But now an assembly member and mayoral candidate, he insists his views on policing have evolved.
I know that Governor Cuomo is far more comfortable in the past, whether it be his own or whether it be in attacking me for tweets made before I was even an assembly member. And the vision that we've put forward in this campaign, despite what others may say, is not to defund the police. It is in fact to allow those officers to respond to these serious crimes that many of them signed up to address, and to do so by ensuring that we ask them to focus on those crimes, and we ask mental health professionals to respond to calls of mental health crises.
Mamdani came from behind to defeat Cuomo in the Democratic primary. Cuomo now running as an independent, as is Adams for re-election. Political analysts say the two more moderate candidates have the potential to split the anti-Mamdani vote, and for his part, Mamdani appears to be far ahead of either man, with the election just a little more than 3 months away.
So he's ahead? That's what they're saying? He's the main guy right now? It's not Mayor Adams? Very interesting. Very interesting. Let me know y'all thoughts about this down in the comments below. I'd really like to know y'all thoughts. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate y'all viewership, man. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if y'all are new.